All right, can somebody tell me when to start, when I can start? Should I start at 10 or should I just wait for everybody else to arrive?
Okay, I think we can start.
All right.
It's already time.
All right, perfect. I'm just going to shut the door so I don't have any other noise in my background, so I'll be right. All right, perfect. Thank you everyone for coming today. I'm super excited to be here and I'll let the moderator take it away.
All right. Thank you everyone for being here. My name is Alpha and I am today's moderator in this HSA x BNET Academy event where you can have questions regarding what HSA and BNET Academy is all about. And also if you want to know more about Harvard Student Agency this is the place to go. All right, my name is Alpha, like I said, and today we will start to discuss, first of all, just the objectives and goals of this event. So today's event is basically to provide a global overview and insights into Harvard College, all directly from Harvard undergraduate, that is summer here. It's also to introduce the pre-professional program to Indonesian high school students, where we will offer insights into what pre-professional fields are through a dynamic educational experience with hands-on enrichment activities. This is also an opportunity for the high school students to discover and explore their connection, their career passions in business, coding, government, and pre-med. All right. So do we have everybody here? We have around 47 participants, so that's great. We have a lot of people who are curious, it seems. Okay, so I guess we can start. Thank you for the schools that have come. I'm going to just announce, just to honor the schools that have that are here. It's PPK Penabur, Saint Ursula Jakarta, JAC School Surabaya, Bandung Independent School, SMA Kolese Gonzaga, SMA Nasima International, Great Crystal School and Course Center, Homeschooling Kaseto, SMA Global Mandiri Cibubur, Darul Hikam Integrated School, IDN Boarding School, Al Wildan Islamic School, SMA N8 Jakarta, etc. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. All right, so what HSA x BNET Academy is, before our speakers will tell you all about it, it's basically the first ever. That's the first ever thing that's ever been done in Indonesia. And so you might be curious what this is because it's very different, it's very new. And so this event will be divided into 2 sessions. It's a very casual session. So yeah, nothing to be nervous about. But yes, it will be divided into 2 sessions. The first session will be held by Zulfa, the CEO of BNET Academy, where she will basically talk about what BNET Academy is, yeah, and all about it. And then the second session will be held by Summer, who will talk about what HSA is, really, and about her as well. All right. Okay, so basically the
Yes.
rules of
Was
this
on the time.
game. Sorry,
Sabihin
can
mo na.
everybody hear me? Is it clear for everybody?
Clear.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically before we start, I'm going to tell you guys the rules of the game here, the rules of the session, and basically we're going to listen to the two speakers talk about their projects, their objectives, their goals. And after they're done, you are welcome to ask questions, and you can ask questions through the chat box. That's okay. If you want to, you know, put your face out here and just ask directly, that's okay too. Just raise a hand, and yeah, and then you can talk. All right. So is that clear for everybody?
Yeah, it's clear, it's clear.
All right. Okay, so welcome, Zulfa and Summer. Thank you so much for being here with us. I personally am curious to know more about this pre-professional program. It's definitely something that's new to me. May not be new where you are, Summer, but it's definitely something that's that's not familiar here. So I'm just going to open up session 1 and talk about you, Summer. Can you introduce yourself, please, to us?
Yeah, absolutely. Hi, I'm Summer. I'm a junior at Harvard College studying economics with a secondary in psychology. Harvard has special terminology for their majors and minors. So my secondary just essentially means it's a minor. And we call majors concentrations here, just some special terminology. Over the past 2 years, I've been involved with Harvard Student Agencies, which is the largest student-run company in the world, all comprised of Harvard students.
Matiin kamera di mana?
We
Matiin kamera.
Sorry, does someone have a question? Or if someone doesn't have a question, I would appreciate if you could keep yourself muted.
Yes, please.
So yeah, I'll continue. At Harvard, I'm the managing director of the Academies, which is an education services business that provides pre-professional programs for high school students and for high achieving 8th graders as well. We offer topics in 4 areas of study, which are pre-medical studies, business, government, and coding. Within each of these topics, we have 2 subtopics, which I will get into a little bit later. But essentially, the Academies was founded in 2015 to really just educate high schoolers in the Boston area. And since then, we've been able to expand to pretty much like globally. We have partnered with over 60 schools and educational companies to bring our programs to over 8,000, maybe it's 9,000 students at this point. So we're really proud of everything that we've been able to teach to high school students, and all of our programs are taught by Harvard instructors as well, Harvard students. Yep. Happy to dive into a little bit more, but yeah, that was just my brief introduction.
All right. Okay, so Summer, can you tell us a little bit about yourself first, what you do? I know you said you're doing psychology as your minor, and what was your major again? Sorry.
Economics.
Economics. So how are you inspired to even enter this HSA in the first place?
Yeah, absolutely. So in high school, I was very interested in business. I primarily did marketing type internships. So I interned for universities and their athletic departments. I was very involved in video production at my school. I loved making videos. And so, yeah, was very interested in like that aspect of the business. And then when I came to Harvard, I saw that there was an amazing opportunity at Harvard Student Agencies to run my own business. So I started off, my freshman year as a sales manager, so doing something a little bit more kind of entry level. And then I quickly climbed the ranks and was promoted to become managing director of the Academies. And just for me, I love studying like customers, how they behave. I think that's why I'm studying economics and psychology, because I feel like the intersection of those two is behavioral economics, so understanding how a consumer behaves, thinks, acts, and things like that. And I've been able to be taught by some amazing professors here at Harvard. So the founder of the behavioral economics field is David Laibson, and he's like an economics professor here, which has been amazing to learn from. And so there's just been so many great students here. My peers are incredible, and also my professors as well.
That is cool. I can imagine life at Harvard is amazing. All right. Okay, so about HSA, I know that it's basically, like you said, it's a pre-professional program where you teach high school students a lot of different fields. But how does it really operate? How does it work really?
Yeah, absolutely. I can share a short presentation if that would help. Could you give me sharing privileges?
I'm not the host, so wait, let me just
Let my team to allow share screen for Summer.
yeah.
In the meantime, while we're figuring that out, I guess I can share a little bit more about myself and like what I did in high school. So yeah, to elaborate on what I was talking about before, I founded the first video production club at my high school, and we created videos for school administration. We created videos for student government to promote our charity events and things like that. And so I was very involved with that. I was also the vice president of our student government, so planned our homecoming, our pep rallies, and the dances. Another thing that I was heavily involved with was sports in the US. I think most high school students participate in at least one sport, and so I was lucky enough to participate in two. I did tennis, varsity tennis, and I was the captain. And I also did varsity ice hockey. And that's something I picked up a little bit later and thankfully got to join the high school team. And so, yeah, I was very involved in those two sports. And additional, like, had some leadership positions. So, yeah, I think was able to get my hands in a few different fields and got to explore my interests. And I feel like, along with, obviously doing well in school and getting good test scores and things like that, I think that is like why I stood out in my college application. And I'm like happy to talk a little bit more about that because I'm sure that you guys have questions about it.
Yeah, I love how you were so active during high school, and it seems that you are so open to experimenting, so open to trying a lot of things, which I think a lot of high school students would be in Indonesia. It's just that maybe there's still a dilemma of what they want to do, what they want to take. And I think this pre-professional program is definitely a good opportunity for them to open up to these experiences. Yeah, the things that they don't learn in school.
Yeah, I think that's what's so great about the academies is that you get to learn about topics that transcend traditional classroom topics. And that's where I don't think screen sharing is available for me right now, but I'm happy to just kind of go through my little spiel quickly without the slides. So I hope you'll bear with me.
We already can share the slides. We already
I can
you. Yeah.
Okay. I don't think I can share right now, but no worries. I can just continue talking. The button's not working for me. Could you make me co-host of the meeting?
Okay.
All right, so while we're figuring that out, Summer, your application, how did you, oh, there you go.
Okay. Perfect. Okay. So what is the Academies? The mission of the Academies is to provide opportunities for high school students that transcend traditional classroom topics, like I was saying before. Regardless of background, we hope to be the connection between students and Harvard quality exploratory courses. So there's two different formatting, and I'm sure that BNET Academy will choose, I think, which format, but we offer both 8 and 16-hour virtual pre-professional enrichment programs in these following topics. So 2 business courses, one in entrepreneurship, where you can start your own business, and one in management and strategy, which is a little bit more like consulting. Then pre-med, we have our pre-med more foundational course, which is about genetics, immunology, and organic chemistry. And the second course is human anatomy and systems of the body. Then for coding, we have Intro to Python and Intro to Web Development. And for government, we have Pre-Law and International Politics. We have like the top instructors at Harvard for all of these topics, which I can get to a little bit later as well. Okay, all of our courses include a final project and a certificate of completion. So the final project is very interactive and related to what you'll learn in the class. So for the Entrepreneurship Academy, you'll do a startup business pitch at the end of the program. For our Introduction to Web Development, you'll create a website. For Pre-Law, you'll engage in a mock trial. And for our pre-med course, you'll do an emergency case study where a victim falls and you have to diagnose like what their symptoms are and potentially like what illness they have. So pretty interactive. Then certificates, a lot of our past students have added their certificates of completion to their college application and their resumes. All right, so here's a sample of what our certificate looks like. Just putting that in there because some people are curious. So yeah, going on to our instructors, they all have real world experience. So our pre-med instructors are pre-med students at Harvard. They've shadowed doctors, they've engaged in their own research at Harvard. So yeah, seriously, like the top pre-med students at Harvard. Just kind of like a side note, our instructor acceptance rate is 20%. So we do a pretty rigorous screening process there. All right, so we also have a 10-to-1 student instructor ratio. So if class is 10 students, there will be one instructor. And then after we increase the amount of students, we'll add a second instructor just to make sure that the ratio is still 10-to-1 and that every student has adequate attention from the instructors in the classroom. And yeah, these instructors often become lifelong mentors for high school students. So a lot of our students will email instructors and say, hey, like I'm applying to schools, could you take a look at my resume? Or do you have any advice for how I should approach my college interview? I know one of the students that I worked with this summer, even though I'm not an instructor myself, I'm like the programming director, but she emailed me just to keep in touch. And it's been great to just keep in touch with a lot of our students over the years. All right, so now is like a little bit more of a kind of deep dive into specific topics, but I'm going to stop the presentation there because I want to just pause and open the floor to questions, and then I can share my screen again if you guys have specific questions on the courses.
All right, anyone with questions, anything that's unclear, anything that you'd like Summer to elaborate? You're welcome to just raise a hand or put your question in the chat box. No, should we go on?
Sure.
Yeah.
So I can continue to share my screen and tell you more specifics of our courses, if that works for everyone. Okay, perfect. So let me share my screen again. Okay. Oh, can you guys see my screen? Okay.
Yeah, we can see it.
Great. So our pre-med classes are designed, introduce you to topics covered in pre-med classes and give you a taste of what it's like to be a pre-med student at Harvard. So there's content modules, there's case studies on diseases. We cover applying to med school and MCAT practice questions. The pre-med courses include, so level 1 is our like foundational course, which is the genetics, immunology, and organic chemistry. And then level 2 is the human anatomy. So yeah, the first level, there's a disease symposium where you can select disease, present a number of aspects that describe the disease and how it's treated today. I will say this course is pretty rigorous because it does cover organic chemistry, which is one of the hardest topics in pre-med classes. But I think our students feel like they get a lot out of the program. And even though it is challenging, they feel like it's like a rewarding experience. And then yes, the level 2 case study is something that I already mentioned before, and it's just like the emergency case study. Here's one of our pre-med instructors. She's excellent. And this is just a bio, which I think you can, I don't want to read all of it right now, just for the sake of time, but yeah, our pre-med instructors are excellent. I also don't know if the audio is going to work. So I'm happy to share these slides afterwards. You guys can watch this video, but this is just one of our pre-med instructors talking about our programs. Okay. So this is just a little bit of a deep dive into what exactly we cover in level 1. So what is DNA, immunology, CRISPR, immunological pathologies, and organic chemistry. Module 1 for human anatomy is cardiology and pulmonology. Then module 2 is nephrology and gastroenterology. Module 3 is neurology and endocrinology. And then module 4 is dermatology and myology. Yeah, so I think these are topics I think normally students don't really get to study in school, and we're really proud to be able to teach some more like hands-on pre-med topics in a classroom like this to high school students who can get ahead of the curve. All right, I'm also going to go over business and government. I think that if you guys do have questions about coding, feel free to ask them. But I will say that like we traditionally don't get as many questions about coding, so I can skip over that part of the presentation unless anybody objects. Okay, so going to business. Designed to introduce you to core business concepts necessary to be an effective entrepreneur. So we have one course called entrepreneurship and one course called management, and both courses include case studies from Harvard Business School, which are kind of small educational packets where they do a deep dive on a specific case. And for example, a company that decided to expand or another company that decided to enter a new market, and kind of analyze the decision matrix there. Yeah, hands-on activities as well. And then this is just basically, I've already kind of gone over this business pitch project, but for level 2, you'll do a case competition and you'll step into the shoes of a consultant for one of 2 companies that we give you. Yeah, here are just some.
Sorry, Summer.
Yep.
Can everybody just mute their mute their video, please? Thank you. Okay, go on, Summer. Sorry.
Yeah, of course. So business entrepreneurship, you do idea generation, elevator pitch, market research, competitive analysis, customer research, you write a business plan, and then we also cover career tips like how to write a resume, which is a pretty important skill. Then in our business management and strategy, we talk about what consulting is, how to market size, what growth rates are, and how you project different metrics, profit and loss statements, so just like accounting stuff, how to enter a new market. So let's say Nike, they're traditionally doing like fitness apparel, right? Let's say they want to get into the workout class space. That's like an idea of what it's like to enter a new market. They'll also discuss the HBS case method and how to create a very educational deck. And then here's just an example of one of our amazing business instructors. She is working at JP Morgan next year after she graduates. So she's excellent. JP Morgan is one of the largest banks in the world. And so she's going to be doing investment banking there. All right. So this is also student testimonial, but I will, because of technology, I think I'll just send this after and you can watch it on your own time. All right. I'm going to pause right here and stop sharing my screen. Please let me know if there are any questions, and I can also look at the chat. I'll have the moderators, and they'll answer any more like administrative questions, and I can answer questions about the course topics and content.
All right, so we do have a question here from Abil. Thank you, Abil. It says that he's asking whether the agency is discussing for students to get a scholarship in Harvard or building business by learning. It's neither. It's more so that this agency is going to teach you. It's going to teach you a pre-professional program such as pre-med and what was that, business and coding and law, etc. So it's not, it is a part of Harvard, but it is a separate entity. So it's not to get scholarship in Harvard University or building a business, but you can learn to build a business here too. That's, if that answers your question. Bill, yes, you're welcome to talk.
Yes, I want to ask, is there requirement for get that course maybe, yeah? Such as like how
Um,
much, the payment maybe?
Yes, this we will talk about all of this later. So for now, we are going to let Summer talk about the program first, and then afterwards, BNET Academy team will talk to everyone about the pricing and the scheduling and the requirements, etc. All right?
And also we will get information about how to register it in the last.
Yes, of course.
Okay,
Yes, of
thank
course.
you.
Sorry that I didn't mention that, but yes, we'll talk about all of that after Summer finishes her explanation about what HSA does. All right?
yeah,
All right.
absolutely. Okay,
Okay.
perfect.
Summer,
I
you're
will
welcome to.
continue sharing. Yeah, I'll continue sharing my screen and talk about our two other topics, which are coding and government. And then after that, I'll be done with my formal presentation. But yeah, here to answer like any other questions. So yeah, let me continue my presentation. All right, team. So coding, we do one introduction to Python, which is like the most commonly used language, and an introduction to web development, which covers HTML and CSS. Coding is very interactive, but it's a little bit more independent work just because everyone like codes on their own computer. So you'll do problem sets that are inspired by Harvard's introduction to CS course called CS50. And they're you'll be taught by like some very experienced coders at Harvard. So for the Python course, the final project is a hackathon, which you compete against the other people in your class in a friendly hackathon. Problem sets are inspired again by Harvard's famous course CS50, and we will announce a winner. In all of these, we will have a judge and announce a winner. Level 2, which is the web development, you will create a website over the course of the program, and then last day you'll present this website to your peers. Right, again, we'll skip over this. Alrighty. Yep, so here are just some things that you'll learn in the introduction to Python. To answer somebody else's question about requirements, we don't require any previous knowledge in our introduction to Python course. It's supposed to be intro, so we teach it as if students do not have any experience, but if you do have experience with Python, we do have the option of making our problem sets a little bit harder for those who have a little bit more experience, but don't be afraid of joining the course if you don't have any coding experience. And then introduction to web dev is also, these are some topics that are covered in that course. Right, so lastly, government includes, so pre-law includes a mock trial. You'll do a case, and then some people will be the defendant, some people will be the prosecution, and you'll do a mock trial against each other. Then for the international politics course, you'll do a policy proposal. You'll identify an underlying problem in our system and brainstorm a creative and practical solution. So yeah, think about what policy change you would recommend in your government. Yeah, in addition, pre-law also covers like case studies from Harvard Law School, what's like to be a lawyer, and other sort of like LSAT questions. LSAT is like the standardized test that people take to become a lawyer in the US. Yeah, and here are some other things you'll learn about civil versus criminal law, how to read case files, Supreme Court cases, judicial opinions, all that stuff. Again, yeah, some more things that'll be covered in that course, like the different type of law specialties. Instead of it being like super broad, you'll also get a really nice deep dive into different types of law for those of you who are considering becoming a lawyer. This is one of our lovely government instructors. All right, international politics, you will also do case studies from Harvard Law School, talk a little bit more about like US government. I think it covers US government in like 50% of the course, and then like other types of international politics in the remaining 50% of the course. And the reason why US is like such a big part of it is because Harvard's in the US, obviously, and like that is a topic that's covered in a lot of our courses. But then the remainder of the course talks about like theory, conflict and cooperation, topics that are covered in our introduction to government class at Harvard, which is Gov 20. And then, yep, let me just, yep, okay. Yep, so that's it for my quick presentation on our different topics. Please feel free to ask any questions about the courses and what you'll get out of them. And yeah, just here to answer any questions, and I'll stop sharing so we can all see each other.
All right, thank you so much for that lovely and very informative presentation, Summer. Any questions? There is a question from Dewi I see in the chat box. Is there any short course for mechanical major or chemical? So this course, as far as I know, correct me if I'm wrong, Summer or Zulfa, they're designed for high school students. So not for college students who are already majoring in certain, certain fields. So these are for high school students aged, what age, Zulfa?
13 until 18 years old.
There you go.
Grade 9 until grade 12 in high school. Yeah.
There you go. And
Morning.
does that answer your question?
Morning, Miss.
Good
Excuse-
morning.
Yeah, I mean for the preparation for college students who's going to take chemical or mechanical engineering. I means like that.
Okay. Oh, all right. Okay. Sorry for misunderstanding your question. All right. I think Summer can answer this question. Can any of these courses be used for people who want to take mechanical or chemical engineering in the future?
So none of our courses cover mechanical or chemical engineering because they are more introduction, but you can take our courses as like a precursor to potentially learning about mechanical engineering or chemical engineering in the future. So if you're interested in chemical engineering, I would recommend taking our first pre-med course, which covers chemistry, organic chemistry, immunology, and genetics. I think that will probably be the most relevant for you. And then any of our coding courses, specifically the Python one, would probably be good for just general engineering.
Yeah, I think these days everybody needs some coding. Yeah, just coding knowledge. It's so important these days.
Yeah,
all
absolutely.
right. Does that answer your question, Dewi?
Thanks for the explanation.
All right, thank you so much for the question. We do have another question from Nova, but that will be discussed after the session. So when we start the session with Zulfa, we're going to be talking a little bit more about that. All right, so we're going to keep your question for now, and then we'll talk about it during the next session, if that's okay. All right. Okay, so Summer, anything else we need to know about HSA?
I just think that it's been an incredible experience for any student who has attended. We've loved getting to meet everybody over Zoom. Over the past few years, we started on Zoom because of the pandemic. Recently, we started opening up some on-campus courses. But yeah, for those of you guys who cannot travel to the US during the school year, we offer these like great weekend bootcamp courses. And we would love for you to sign up and for you to meet like your future Harvard mentor, regardless of whatever topic that you're interested in. And so, yeah, thank you guys for having me today. And I hope you guys sign up, and I hope I'll see you soon.
All right, thank you so much, Summer. All right, and before we continue on with this whole pre-professional programs, I'm gonna move this over. I'm gonna start the second session. Move this over to Zulfa to talk about herself. Who is she? Who is Zulfa? And also what BNET Academy is, how it's related to HSA, how is it going to help you with registering and attending HSA, etc.
Okay, thank you, Alpha. Yeah, Summer, you can still stay on this session until the end of the webinar. Thank you, Summer. Because we do have a lot of discussion until the end of the session. So please stay still in this session. Yeah, let me greet everybody in here. Good morning, everyone, students, teachers, and parents who are already joining this conference. Yeah, I'm Zulfa from BNET Academy as CEO. And talking about BNET Academy is specializing in providing pre-professional education programs for Indonesian high school, preparing them is stepping into professional world and pursue their dreams professionals after graduate. And yeah, I'm thrilled to announce that currently we are partnering with the Academies, Harvard student agencies to bringing this high quality educational program to all Indonesian high schools in Indonesia for age 13 until 18. And yeah, this would be a great experience for all high schoolers in Indonesia. And our goals and missions is to help students discover their career passions and their dream future career before entering college. And this initiative is marked as the first in Indonesia. And yeah, it would be great opportunity, great experience, since all the students can directly learn from Harvard undergraduates coming from Harvard University and establish connection, establish networking with them. And yeah, let's be part of this learning journey. And all the information provided in our website in hsa.bnet.id. You can learning more about the tuition fees or the schedule dates in our website hsa.bnet.id. You can choose your based on your availability time there, and we will be happy to review all incoming applicants. And yeah, we will read your application by submit your essay, your transcript, academic score, and we will start the class based on your that's scheduling chosen by students. Okay, yeah, I think we can discuss more about this program, about yeah, this professional program with the summer. All students here, maybe teachers or parents who will want more now about this program, feel free to ask, discuss in this session.
All right. Yes, thank you so much for the introduction to BNET Academy, Zulfa. So basically, just to summarize, BNET Academy here is helping all the students into registering for the HSA programs. And if you're wondering why HSA, attending these pre-professional programs could be good for you. Well, it's a good step into these majors that you're maybe interested in, learning more about that before you actually go to college, and you'll be taught by the Harvard mentors. All right, so if I can ask Summer a question, if, for example, you were exposed to these sort of pre-professional programs before you enter, do you think that entering these sorts of programs could be beneficial for you once you enter college, and how would it benefit you? Still muted, Summer.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I think that doing one of these programs is absolutely beneficial, and I think in multiple ways. I think one, if you already have an affinity or interest for a certain topic, like pre-med, you think that you want to be a doctor one day, and then you take one of our courses, perhaps because the topic is not offered in your school, and then you get to learn a little bit more, and you realize that you really do want to study genetics, or you really want to do chemistry. And then you can go off after you take one of our courses to perhaps conduct some research based off of your newfound knowledge. I think our courses provide a great foundation in that way. On the other hand, I think our courses also are exploratory enough and short enough that you can use it as a way to see if you actually really like something. I know one of our students, it's a story that I like to tell, came in wanting to be pre-med. They were really interested in becoming a doctor, but they took one of our pre-med courses and they actually decided that even though like the topic was interesting, maybe doing pre-med like wasn't something for them, just because they got to talk to some of the pre-med students from Harvard and like see what a career path actually looks like, and they're like, I don't know if I want to go to school for like 10 years, and and actually go through residency and like take the MCAT and all that stuff. So they got to, I think, understand a little bit more about what it was truly like to be pre-med, because a lot of people don't really understand until they hear from somebody who's going through it themselves. And so that student actually enrolled in one of our business courses and then decided, wow, like starting my own business would be so interesting. And then they decided to study business when they went to college. So I think that both use cases are very valuable, whether you decide you do want to continue with a course of study, or if the Academies helps you realize that maybe a course of study is not the right fit for you, because it's better to figure that out now than to figure it out a little bit too late.
I agree.
And so, yeah, so I think like both, you'll learn, whether you do want to do something, whether you don't want to do something. I think both are equally valuable.
Right, exactly. So I hope if anybody is still wondering why this is important, then there you go. It's a great base. It's a great foundation for you to explore your interests, and also, to just study further your already existing passions. So yeah, and regarding the timeline, the program timeline, this is a question for Zulfa, I would think. How long is it going to be? For how many days? And how long will the students be learning in this program? Maybe several hours a day, or could you explain a little bit more about that?
Thank you for the question about the duration of learning. We open for weekdays, 4 days in the weekdays, and we're planning to conduct it in after school in the 7 p.m. in the evening. So you can choose your availability time in our website, and the courses journey will be conducted in 4 days in the weekdays. So yeah, you can apply in our website and choose your interest and your availability time there.
All right. Yes, I hope that answers your question, Nova. So basically, it's short and sweet and relatively flexible.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so any more questions here?
Maybe I want to ask Summer. Hi, Summer. Maybe you can share to us most all attendees careers about your admission experience to Harvard University. Little bit share to us.
Yeah, I can definitely share. So just for context, I went to high school in Maryland, which is a state near the capital of the US, near DC. And I think, like I said before, I did a lot of leadership positions in high school, which I felt like I could write about in my application. I also worked in sports a lot, so sports business. I wrote a research paper analyzing how like NFL videos performed on Instagram, and I was actually able to like publish my paper online. And so I think that was, an accomplishment I was pretty proud of. And because I did all these things, I think I was able to write essays that really reflected my passion and my accomplishments. And so I actually applied to Harvard early, which means that I was admitted earlier than like some of the regular applicants. And so I actually didn't apply to any other schools. I only applied to Harvard. So I was able to get my admission decision earlier than most people. So I got it in December, whereas normally people get it in like March. And so, yeah, I was lucky in that way.
Right. I think that's all of that is due to your active participation in school, and also just multiple interests, right? And I think it's important to have multiple interests.
I fully agree. I think that I didn't just like one thing in high school. I did a bunch of different things. I think I also had really good grades. I got straight A's. It was near the top of my class. I think also, I don't know if SAT is as relevant these days, just because some colleges have made SAT test optional. But I did pretty well on my SAT when it was still required. So I got a 1590 out of 1600. I also took 14 AP classes while I was in high school. And took 9 AP exams just because by the time my senior year rolled around, I had already been accepted to Harvard and they don't take AP scores. And so I decided to not take the exams my senior year, but I took exams my sophomore and my junior year. So I took 9 AP exams. I got 5s on 8 of them and a 4 on 1 of them.
That's amazing. So for those of you who aren't aware what AP is, it's basically the high school exams for its advanced placement. So it's a very, very rigorous, it's a very rigorous study, similar to A levels and IB, I think, right? IB, DP.
Yeah.
So she took 9. That's amazing. All right. Okay. So, Zulfa, this is a question for you from me, and I'm sure from all of us. Can you talk a little bit about the scholarship opportunity for HSA? For HSA and BNET Academy for everyone here. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you, Alpha. Yeah, we are pleased to welcoming all student Indonesia high schoolers to join this program, and as part of our commitment to we offer scholarship for all the students by nominating by their schools. So we offer the scholarship to students by nominated by their schools, and we will give the scholarship to the students, and simply by apply to our website in has.bnet.id, and the nominated student we will give the scholarship, will get the scholarship to join this program.
Right, yes, because we realize that these courses, although they're not expensive, they also don't come cheap. So if you would like some scholarship opportunities in order to attend these pre-professional courses, you are welcome to check out the BNET Academy website and also Instagram, right? Yeah, also BNET Academy's Instagram. All right, and just to remind everyone, don't forget to fill out the form to record your attendance here, and the link is in the chat box. So yes, if you could please record your attendance on that form, that would be lovely. And okay, are there any more questions for Zulfa or for Summer? We would be glad to have more questions. Anyone wants to just, share what they think or share?
Maybe I need to tell the people that this program is not related to the Harvard University admissions process. So yeah, the scholarship that we offer is for joining this Academies by Harvard Student Agencies program, not for entering to Harvard University.
Yeah, but I would also say that attending these courses, especially for people who are interested in doing medicine or law in the US, before starting pre-law or pre-med in college in the US, I think it would be good to attend these types of courses just to familiarize you with with these programs later on when you get to college. All right, any questions? No questions. All right, if there are no questions, I think we've answered the existing questions. All right. There is a question. Will this affect their high school their high school life basically? Is it a rigorous program that will hinder maybe their schoolwork? Can maybe Zulfa can explain? That would be great.
Yeah. Yes, Alpha. Can you?
Oh yeah, sure. There was a question. Will this program affect high school? Like, will it affect their time? Because high school can be quite rigorous.
Yeah.
So
this program is designed with the flexibility time, so there will not affect to school schedules, because we are planning to conduct this course after schools in the evening time around 7 p.m. Indonesian time and until 9 p.m. for 8 hours course, or until 10 or 11 p.m. for 16 hours course. So I think it would be nice to arrange and manage the learning time to all students, and hope that will not affect the schedule school time, because we designed this course, this learning flexible based on availability time. The students you can choose the schedule that providing in our website.
right, exactly. So, and it's only for several days anyway, so it won't affect your school too much. And if anything, it would maybe improve your schoolwork. All right. So if that is all, basically just to summarize, Harvard Student Agency will be teaching you a lot of these pre-professional programs taught by very, very qualified Harvard mentors. And BNET Academy is where you can check that out in order to find out more about this program. I hope we've already answered everybody's questions.
There is one question left.
Oh, yeah.
One student curious about Harvard life summer. Maybe you can share your Harvard life as student there.
All right. Is it hard?
Well, Harvard life, it looks a little bit different for everyone depending on what you study, honestly, but I can share a little bit about my personal experience. I think that economics has two different tracks. One is a little bit more mathy and one is less mathy. I've chosen the less mathy track, so it's a little bit less rigorous than like a super, like someone who's on the PhD track. So I spend around maybe like 15, 20 hours a week on coursework, which honestly is not a lot for right now. I would say like maybe my freshman year, I spent 30 hours a week on coursework just because I took some harder classes, but I got my requirements out of the way. So now I can take some more interesting electives. I think college is also a little bit different from high school in the sense that your schedule is more flexible. You don't have classes from like 8 a.m. or 7 a.m. all the way to like 3 p.m., 4 p.m. every single day, like I did in high school. And so because the classes are a little bit more dense, I only take 4 or 5 classes per semester, and they're packed into like a very short amount of time, like over 3 months. So I can study whenever I want to, I can go to class whenever those happen, and I can really just set my schedule, which was not the case in high school. Now to answer your question about, is it hard? I think that there are certain majors at Harvard that are very hard. Like pure math is like really hard. There's that one's like really, really hard. Mechanical engineering is hard. Computer science is hard. Physics is hard. I think like all of those topics are pretty hard. But on the other spectrum, I would say like some majors are a little bit more easier. So it really depends on what you're more interested in. Your second question, what does it feel like when holidays are coming? I'm not sure exactly what you're getting at here, but holidays are when we go home and classes are over. So we have 2 semesters every single year. One is the fall and one is the spring. And then we have a 5-week-long vacation in December. So after I finish my final exams, first semester in December, I'll go home for 5 months. and then I'll come back for spring semester, which will then end in like around May. So when holidays are coming, I'm excited. It means that, you know, final season is almost over. I'm excited to see my family. And then the last question you asked was to explain every single major at Harvard. There's a lot of majors, so I don't think I can stand here and list all of them, but I would go online and look up Harvard concentrations. So I would say concentrations instead of majors, because that's what we call it. And then you can find an extensive list of every single major that we have. But I would say the 3 most popular majors at Harvard are government, computer science, and economics. So the department that I'm in is pretty common. Yeah, hope that answers all of your questions.
All right. Thank you so much for your answer, Summer. If there aren't any other questions left, we can, of course, wrap this up. Again, as a reminder, don't forget to fill out the form to record your attendance. And the form is, you can see it in the chat box. There's a link to it. Also, thank you so much for the parents and teachers and students that have come attend this webinar. I hope that this has been very insightful. It certainly is for me. So I hope it's also the same for all of you. And if you want to learn more about this program, you can check out the website. The website is in, it's hsa.bnet.id. Or you can also check out their Instagram at hsa.bnetacademy. hsa.bnetacademy, just, yeah. All right, so thank you so much, Summer, for attending this webinar. Thank you so much for sharing your school life, your applications, your just everything. And also the very informative, informative slides about pre-professional programs that you are offering to the students here in Indonesia. And thank you so much, Zulfa, for explaining this and also just bridging this network from students and the teachers and parents to the Harvard Student Academies. If there is nothing else, we can close this session. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming.
Maybe we can take a picture.
Thank you, Summer. Thank you. Oh yeah, yes. All right. Maybe we can take a picture, guys. If you can just turn on the videos, turn on the camera. Sorry. There you go. Hello.
We can see everyone right now.
All right. I don't think we can take a picture with everyone, but I think we can take a picture with most of them. Yeah. Are you, Zulfa, are you the one taking the picture or somebody?
Yeah,
All
yes. So yeah, 1, 2, 3. Yes, great. Thank you so much, everybody, to join this conference. Thank you, Summer, Alpha, and everyone. See you and have a nice day.
Have a nice day, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.